Welcome to the Tool Hut channel. Today we have a 2008 Jeep Liberty. It has a P2127. Stand by. While you got a second, why don't you go ahead and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you want to be notified when stuff comes out. I welcome any questions or comments you may have down below. Okay, so today we have a 2008 Jeep Liberty. It has a P2127 accelerator pedal position sensor circuit low. I don't know what other codes it's had. The shop has cleared the codes probably multiple times. We're actually here to put an ECM in it that does not fix it. So we continue with the diagnosis after the PCM was put in it. So I'll walk you through a little bit of the process here. I will give you a clue here at the beginning. The accelerator pedal position works just fine unless you start the car. That's a clue. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? All right, let's get this all data opened up and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's get this all data open. Like I said, we're going to go to repair just like we always do. I'm going to go to 2008 Jeep Liberty. So got a couple options here. So uh, not a code I'm familiar with. I haven't diagnosed a bunch of them. It's a pretty straightforward code though. So let's just type it in up here and let's just see what we get. So here's the probable causes. So let's start here. Probably as good a place as any to start here. So it's P2127 accelerator pedal position circuit low, open or shorted, just the common ECM intermittent. It's not intermittent, I promise you. So we're calling for ECM or PCM. So I don't really see anything that stands out that says, hey, we may have a problem, because I can tell you right now, we do not have 5 volts at the APP as long as the vehicle's running, and none of the trouble trees will take you through it like that. So let's go up here. Let's go back and go to testing and inspection. Let's just kind of review the flow chart for this code. So got a couple of connectors here. No rocket science. Again, here's our description. Here's our possible causes. It's an active DTC when the engine is operating, blah, blah, blah. So is the DTC active at this time? Yes, it is active at this time. Of course, the vehicle is running. The code will go away is if it's key on engine off, just to give you a little history on it. So it's got everybody a little puzzled, so we're going to figure this out. So it says the 5 volt circuit is pin 6. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, it says ignition on, engine not running. Well, we've got 5 volts with the engine not running, but as soon as I start it, the 5 volts goes away. So we're not going to go through all this stuff, but there's nothing really leads us in the direction of what would cause this thing not to run. So let's go back up. Let's go. I hate flow charts, by the way. Uh, they're written by people that don't work on cars. I don't know what anybody was ever thinking, letting people that don't work on cars for a living write diagnostics flow charts. But, that's great for days. So let's go to our diagrams. Again, I always start with the non-OE stuff because, like I've said before, it's just easier to read for me. But there's a lot of times there's clues that come up, and they don't come up in this. So Well, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go to the page with the accelerator pedal position sensor on it. Let's zoom in here. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so it said pin 6 is what we were looking for, so this must be our APP2. Again, these guys that build these diagnostics flowcharts, it would be great if they'd write APP2, APP1 in here. Just somewhere, just so we had a clue of what was going on. So this is our 5 volt. Like I said, key on engine off, it's just fine. So let's follow our 5 volt supply back. So it goes up here. We got us a splice here. It goes this way. It goes this way. So okay, so it goes to the map sensor. Okay, so could the map sensor be shorted? And when we start the truck, it shorts out because it gets a vacuum to it. Okay, so let's try unplugging the map sensor. So that's the first thing we do. We unplug the map sensor. It's fairly easy to get to. Doesn't make any change. Okay, so camshaft position sensor, lower right front of engine. So we can disconnect the camshaft position sensor on this vehicle. It will cause an extended crank. It will not make it not start. So, okay, so that's what we do. Let's go ahead and do that. So we disconnect the camshaft position sensor. Because, I mean, that's also logical. It's possible that it's got a short spot in it. And once it starts going around, it uh, short out the 5 volt reference. By the way, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a sensor that has the ability to short out the 5 volt sensor line. Okay, so that didn't do anything. So let's scroll back. Okay, so that's going to the PCM. That's pin 27 on connector, well, connector 1, it looks like pin 27. So let's keep that in mind. We might end up there. Oh, I forgot a splice here. So got a splice here, goes up to the EGR valve. So is it possible that when you start this vehicle, the EGR valve runs through a self-test and shorts out our 5 volt reference? It's possible. Not unbearable to get to either, so we disconnect that with the same results. Okay, so there's another splice here, so let's follow this one back. Where's that one go? That one goes to a line pressure sensor variable force solenoid assembly. Huh, that's in the transmission. Yeah, you know, it doesn't have any transmission codes. Is it possible that this is our problem? Yeah, it's possible, but don't you think the customer would have complained that the transmission didn't shift or something like that? So I'm going to tell you, it's on the ground. I'm not laying on the ground to unplug this transmission. So I take the shortcut method. So my question is, the big question is does this PCM have the ability to produce 5 volt supply when the vehicle's running? I suspect it does, mostly because it's there when it's not running, but I really need to know. So I find this brown and light green wire. Okay, let's go to the OE diagram and see if there's a connector. Maybe we can unplug the connector without getting to the trans. What do you think? So we're going to close this one right now. So what I'm going to do, yeah, we got the information we need. Go back to diagrams, go to electrical OE. Okay, so what I want is 5-volt reference lines. Let's go back. Let's go back. Sometimes they don't bring you back the way you expect to come back. So, powertrain management. All right, let's just start with O2. Let's see what we got here. So what we're looking for is our APP. Don't see it there. Don't see it there. And I know somebody here probably knows these Chrysler diagrams like the back of their hand and is screaming at me to choose this one. I don't know them like the back of my hand. I work on a lot of Chryslers, and I don't know these. They're a little different than everybody else, but everybody's a little different than everybody else. So nobody wants to copy anybody. There's the throttle body. We got to be getting close, huh? Accelerator, pedal position, voltage. So let's zoom in here. So here's our APP signal 2. This is our APP 2 over here. This is out of the PCM. So this must be APP 2. Here's our pin 6. So connector 202. I wonder, because that's not going to be under the hood. That's going to be, here's a connector 105. So what happens? Okay, so that splice, that's our splice for the, where it spliced off, remember, in the other diagram. So if it coming from the PCM to this splice, that's not going to help me a bit, is it? So that connector is not going to do a thing for me. Because of my problems after the splice, which I suspect it is, nobody's going to care about that connector. So that connector is not going to do me any good. So here's 8W3018 or 8W70-4. So let's see 8W3018. Remember we had a choice by number, right? 38. Oh, no 18. 8W3018 diagrams. Let's try just 30-18. How about just 18? W-30. It seems like we were just here. Okay, so I'll bet you the 18, I'm speculating, is a diesel. Sure enough, it is. Okay, so don't care about that one. We were like 11 or 12 or something on the APP. So it's a 10. So what was the other one? 8W70-4. That's going to be our 5-volt references. Let's just type it up here. 8W-70-4. Nope, doesn't like it there. W70. This is our 5 volt. This is after the splice, which is fine because this is kind of what we wanted. So here's our APP, a connector that goes to the APP, but it's got all the rest of this stuff on it. So I got the MAP sensor, cam sensor, EGR valve, PCM, and then this assembly line pressure variable force. Now, I don't have a lot of choices here, so I'm gonna have to get underneath this thing and unplug this. I'm just gonna unplug the trans. This is inside the trans, so I'm not gonna get crazy with it. So I do get underneath it. I unplug this sensor, and guess what? It's fixed now. My question is, why didn't it have any transmission codes? You would think that it would have had transmission codes, but it doesn't. Were they there before? I mean, you can always have that discussion. Like I say, we were there to program a PCM. The shop had not put a lot of parts in it because they kind of understood the symptoms, but they didn't understand the diagnostics process after the 5 volt reference went away. So, hope that was helpful to everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more videos like this. Have a great day. While you got a second, why don't you go ahead and click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you want to be notified when stuff comes out. I welcome any questions or comments you may have down below.